I would like to thank everyone who has come to the channel and conducted a thoughtful, intelligent, productive conversation. In the course of my research, I think I found another piece of the puzzle. Now, this picture is from this is the Carl Vinson and a couple of Japanese destroyers alongside of it that were part of a show of force that was put together by the current administration back in April. But this article talks about how, with all the ships that were sent in this particular flotilla, none of them had the ability to counter ballistic missiles. And that is true. However, in this article, something was revealed that I think this audience is going to find very interesting. Now, remember, this is April of this year. That firepower brings a lot to any fight, but the Navy's lack of ballistic missile defense capability on the scene means the Trump administration's high-profile show of force has a significant gap as it warns North Korea against another missile test. One carrier by itself is not a game changer. Tensions on the peninsula have ratcheted up as President Trump and Kim face off over North Korea's continuing development of its nuclear and ICBM program. Trump vowed in January that he wouldn't let North Korea develop a nuclear weapon capable of reaching the U.S., and he said this month that the U.S. was sending an armada to the region. North Korea, in turn, called Vinson's deployment intimidation and blackmail and promised it would react to a total war with an all-out war. Now, that's an interesting statement in and of itself, but there's something else down here that was absolutely, I couldn't believe it when I read it. There's only 7 ships in the entire region that have the ability to intercept an ICBM, and that's here. If the Trump administration wants to buttress its threats at the risk of escalating the crisis, it could deploy toward Korea some or all of the 6 Navy vessels capable of defending against ballistic missiles that are now based at Yokosuka on the eastern side of Japan. Just moving those ships toward the Korean Peninsula would signal to the world U.S. action to stop. A missile test is more imminent and would be seen as an urgent threat by Pyongyang. The 6 vessels are the cruisers Shiloh, the destroyers Statham, Barry, Benfold, Curtis Wilbur, and John McCain. A 7th, the Fitzgerald, is currently at sea conducting a maritime exercise in waters west of Japan, the Navy said in a statement. Those U.S. ships would be in a good position to engage medium-range ballistic missiles going into the Sea of Japan, which is where the previous North Korean test shots have gone, said Brian Clark, a naval analyst with the Washington-based Center for Strategic and Budgetary Assessments, who previously served as a special assistant to the Chief of Naval Operations. So, in April, west of Japan, North Korea, we had the Fitzgerald here pretty much sitting waiting for a launch from North Korea to intercept it. I think that pretty much proves our theory that that was its job, that's what it was doing, and that's why it was there. And that probably was not lost on the North Koreans. And that's why, of all the ships in this region, that's probably why the Fitzgerald is targeted. Because it says right here, it's unbelievable. It pretty much says it in the article. That's one of the new islands the Chinese are building that they're going to load up with weapons as well. But I'll go back to this. It could deploy toward Korea some or all the 6 Navy vessels capable of defending against ballistic missiles from Yokosuka. And it lists the vessels, and it says, oh, by the way, a 7th, the Fitz, is currently at sea conducting maritime exercises in waters west of Japan. And those ships would be in a good position to engage medium-range ballistic missiles going into the Sea of Japan, which is where the previous North Korean test shots have gone. I don't know, folks. What do you think? I mean, this was April. This is what the Fitz was doing. And this is an article from HeraldNet. If you want to check it out, heraldnet.com/news/Donald Trump's Armada. And you can read the rest of this. It talks about this Aegis-equipped vessels and what their abilities are. Um, One more thing I wanted to cover before I get out of this video today. The USS Benfold is, to my mind, probably the odds-on favorite to replace the Fitz, at least temporarily, in the mission capable category, because Benfold was one of the first ships fitted with the new Aegis ballistic missile system, and during the 2010 Stellar Daggers exercise was the first ship to simultaneously engage a ballistic missile and a cruise missile. So we definitely have the capability over there. They are definitely working on this, and they have stepped up production of the Burke. They've stopped with the Zumwalt. Sorry about that. I called it Zumwait. Didn't mean to. But if you want to check out the specifics of anti-ballistic missiles and their history, you can check this out on Wiki. It's a great read. It really does. It talks about us, the Japanese, the Israelis, the Russians, the Chinese, going all the way back to Star Wars with Reagan. But I think this article here with Harold pretty much cements it, that that's what the Fitz was doing, and that's why it was targeted and taken out of the fight, because just, what, 2-3 months prior, not even, it was west of Japan, right by North Korea, setting in a position to sit there and intercept these tests and knock one of these tests out of the sky. And doesn't that make sense now? They knock this thing out and then they conduct this super successful test. I think it's more than a coincidence, folks, but we're going to get out of this and let you folks just pick up this discussion. Once again, thank you so much. Best audience, I think, on YouTube. Like, share, subscribe, and we will see you next time. Thank you very, very much.